we all here, everybody's friends and everything. Let's go over a couple things just to make it understandable for the people. Now, when myself or others speak, normally people speak for themselves, and for me, that's my biggest, takeaway from situations. Tom Cruise is Hollywood's finest. He's definitely done a lot in the film industry. Did a lot of running in the films himself, being a stunt man and for doing his own stunts in the film and stuff like that. But yeah, well, you're seeing a system in play where Tom Cruise, he said, where's Ethan Hunt? I know, where's Ethan Hunt when you need him? So, Tom Cruise did something very unthinkable. Normally, when someone starts talking in Hollywood, when they're dating and they're having a relationship, and they're both public figures, meaning that the other person, this Ana deanros, she's a famous actor and she's on a call sheet. She's normally 1 or 2 on a call sheet now. From her fame from Knives Out, she really got on the big boy, call sheet where she's on major motion pictures and things of that nature. Now, the problem that is ensued and has been delivered to the masses is something quite shrewd. Right, because they make the best decisions. So it's been quite interesting to see people who are definitely 100% behind the process, and they stay and step in toe, with how it moves with relationships. Tom Cruise is so famous, he can't go out on a date and take you to a restaurant and y'all sit down. That's not going to happen like that. He's way too famous to go out to these places. So what ends up happening is you see Tom Cruise get himself engulfed in a lot of different circumstances. And those circumstances come with, ramifications that don't usually sit well for the actor or actress that's in, that at stake here. So they were talking marriage now, getting ready to go through a marriage. Tom Cruise has a process like most of these guys do. They vet whoever they're getting ready to marry. Their management team sit with the girl, tell them what it's going to be before they even meet. So the management team or whoever handling it, Tom Cruise, normally his Scientology people will let her know, like, this is about Scientology. You are not to divulge information. Like, they scouted Scarlett Johansson before this. Before he ended up with Katie Holmes, he chose Scarlett Johansson and two, 3 girls that he was choosing to be his new girl, a concubine, and Scarlett Johansson was one of them. And she went there thinking she was going to go on a date with Tom Cruise. She was very unaware that she was going to sit down with his entire doggone staff and go through this interview process, and she never got a chance to meet Tom. She just like, nah, it's not for me. I'm not interested. Well, being married to Tom is going to give you a lot of financial opportunities. Dating Tom Cruise is going to enhance your financial, capabilities and what you can earn in this business and what you won't be able to earn in this business. So, Katie Holmes came in handy and boosted her status quo all the way up the ladder. She ended up getting Batman. They ended up having to replace her in the second film due to Tom Cruise's obsessiveness of involving himself with controlling her character. So they've written Katie Holmes out completely for the sequel. Now, the whole scenarios have changed. Meaning that in translation, when I said the scenarios have changed, Tom Cruise decided after this is his second divorce that he got with what's her name, Katie Holmes. To go into marriage number 3, he was going to want a lot of arrangements and agreements. So Anna had agreed to everything that was on the table with Scientology, the whole thing she's in agreement with. They've been dating and everything was in agreement until now. The step now moves towards engagement and marriage. So now she has to sit down with finance and everything in agreements with being engaged, the marriage, this and that. It's a paperwork about this thick. And his legal team and her legal team go through what they want in financial agreements. And she saw what he was asking for, which was complete ridiculousness. He's to have total control over her, like what she wears, her clothing. And she's like, what? My clothes? He wants control of her clothing. Like, he wants to be able to say, you can't wear that. Take that off. And he wants to dress her. He wants to make sure she can do certain things, A, B, C, and D. There's a penalty for insubordination, what he considers the clause of insubordination. There are a lot of different scenarios that were brought up that really was like, ugh, these are red flags. So she countered with her legal team, and that legal team came through and they countered the best way they could. And for whatever the reasons may be, it just didn't work out. And it looks like they're just going to split up completely because what he's asking for is ridiculous and she's never going to agree to that. So he's talking about, like, these financial agreements, like, they're not prenups. These are like financial agreements or financial arrangements that will protect your assets, because they don't have like regular people assets. Their assets are massive, and they're put into ways to protect them from divorces and separations and things of that nature. So for as long as they stay married, for each year, it's a certain percentage she gets added to her inheritance or her allowance that she's getting from her draw, right? So each year it goes up. So that if they ever get a divorce, the percentage on what she get is massive. You reach pretty much a lot of incentive points and things of that nature, especially when the fitting is going towards people like Juanita Jordan. This is how she ended up with 170 something million, and there was no courts, there wasn't anything. She stayed out of the media. She didn't bash her husband. When it was all said and done, she walked away with like 170 something million flat. Now he owes her nothing. They have a great relationship now because she don't have to be with him, and he can do whatever he wants. So Mike was out here single for a minute before he started settling on down, doing his thing. Well, there are a lot of people out there that don't really see or understand they don't really see or understand what's going on with the scenario base. You know, she feel like she has a flourishing career. She didn't really need Tom Cruise anyway, and she could still make things happen. So right now it seems like the relationship is ending amicably. But for anybody who's talking about marriage, oh yeah, outlaw, I don't want to hear it. I dropped the link for y'all. You and Corey didn't come up. Marriage is bad for business for a man. Well, it depends on what kind of man you are. Like, if you have your own means and you can control the situation, then yeah, it'll be good for you. But this is why I said he did the unthinkable. Normally, these type of arrangements are negotiated when you start dating or you get into that process. You don't do that now. That don't make sense. Why would you do it at this point? You should have did this a long time ago and have this agreement already in place, lock and key, before anybody even know anything about it. The reason why you don't do it that close, you should at least do it 1 year out at the least. Because then they can't say it was done under duress. See, if you do it within a month or the day of the wedding, or you can contest, they can contest it and say, hey, I didn't want to agree with that. It was under pressure. I was coerced into signing it. So whatever prenup they've had in place, they can go and contest it. So if a woman tell you she's willing to sign a prenup, don't think it's all lock and key. Like, oh yeah, she want the prenup. She don't even want my money. She wanted to sign a prenup. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. And they be like, okay, but we got to get married next month. Okay, no problem. Next thing you know, they get married in a month, and then she wants to contest the prenup. She really didn't want one. Well, the thing about Captain Jack is he's telling half the story. The woman had the letter from the lawyer. He never contacted the lawyer. That was from Stephen Jackson's lawyer talking about that prenup. It was up to him. He was the one not doing what he was supposed to do to take care of the prenup and get with the prenup lawyer and everything else. The stuff he's talking about was completely out of bounds. So she came in there and brought receipts. It was like, oh, dude, you lying. So she's like, you're not finna lie on my name. And she came in and flipped the whole script on his head. So that was that. The girl Sylvia came through and changed everything, and it's just the same old, same old. People are making their own decisions for their own best benefit. They're not thinking of you. They have no concern for you. Oh God, it looked like the Dodgers won. Oh, that's sick. Real sick. All right, I gotta go.